अष्टोत्तरशत श्री श्रीमद डिवाइन ग्रेस अभय चरणारविंद भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी श्रील प्रभुपाद की अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की श्री श्री राधाराज बिहारी भगवान की सीताराम लक्ष्मण हनुमान की श्री श्री गौर निताय की निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे। ओम नमः भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 10, Chapter 18th, chapter entitled Lord Balaram slays demon, the demon Pralamba. Text 13, 14, 15 and 16. So we'll recite text 14. क्वचित बिल्वै क्वचित कुंभै क्वचामलक मुष्टिभिः अस्पृश्य नेत्रबन्धाद्यै क्वचिन्मृग खगेहया क्वचित बिल्वै क्वचित कुंभै क्वचामलक मुष्टिभिः अस्पृश्य नेत्रबन्धाद्यै क्वचिन्मृग खगेहया क्वचित बिल्वै क्वचित कुंभै क्वचामलक मुष्टिभिः अस्पृश्य नेत्रबन्धाद्यै क्वचिन्मृग खगेहया। Mataji. Word to word meaning. Kvachet, sometimes. Bilvahi, with bilva fruits. Kvachet, sometimes. Kumbhai, with kumbha fruits. Kvacha, and sometimes. Amlaka mushtibhi, with palmfuls of amlaka fruits. Asprishya, with games such as trying to touch one another. Netrabandha, trying to identify another when one is blindfolded. Adhyay, and so on. Kvachet, sometimes. Mriga, like animals. Khaga, and birds. Ihaya, acting. Translation and purport. Sometimes the cowherd boys would play with bilva or kumbha fruits, and sometimes with handfuls of amlaka fruits. At other times, they would play the games of trying to touch one another, or of trying to identify someone while one is blindfolded. And sometimes they would imitate animals and birds. Purport. Srila Sanatana Goswami explains that the word Adhyay by such sports indicates such games such as chasing one another and building bridges. Another pastime would occur at noon while Lord Krishna was taking rest. Nearby, the young cowherd girls would be passing by singing, and Krishna's boyfriends would pretend to inquire from them about the price of milk. Then the boys would steal yogurt and other items from them and run away. Krishna, Balram, and their friends would also play games in which they would cross over the river in boats. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur further explains that the boys would play with fruits by throwing a few in air and then throwing others to try to hit them. The word Netra Bandha indicates a game in which one boy would approach a blindfolded boy from behind and place his palms over the blindfolded boy's eyes. Then simply by the feel of his palms, the blindfolded boy would have to guess who the other boy was. In all such games, the boys put up stakes for the winner, such as flutes or walking sticks. Sometimes the boys would imitate the various fighting methods of the forest animals, and at other times they would chirp like birds. So I'll just read translation for 13, 15 and 16. While the other boys were dancing, O king, Krishna and Balram would sometimes accompany them with song and instrumental music, and sometimes the two lords would praise the boys, saying, very good, very good. Text and purport for 15th. Translation and purport for 15th. They would sometimes jump around like frogs, sometimes play various jokes, sometimes ride in swings, and sometimes imitate monarchs. Purport. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur explains the word Nipa Chestaya as follows. In Vrindavan, there was a particular place on the river bank where people who wanted to cross Yamuna would pay a small tax. At times, the cowherd boys would assemble in this area and prevent the young girls of Vrindavan from crossing the river, insisting that they had to pay custom duty first. Such activities were full of joking and laughter. Translation for text 16. In this way, Krishna and Balram played all sorts of well-known games as they wandered among the rivers, hills, valleys, bushes, trees, and lakes of Vrindavan. Please response for text. Translation 14. Sometimes the cowherd boys would play with bilva or kumbha fruits, and sometimes with handful of amlaka fruits. At other times they would play the games of trying to touch one another, or of trying to identify somebody while one is blindfolded. And sometimes they would imitate animals and birds. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamsya Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sagana Raghunatham Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sagana Lalita Shri Vishakha Vitamsa Namam Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimade Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesh Sunyavadi Pashyate Deshatarine नमो महावदन्याय कृष्ण प्रेम प्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्ण चैतन्य नामने गौरद्विषे नमः। हे कृष्णा करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधो जगतपति गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमस्ते तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिय वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिंधुभ्येव च पतितनां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासदि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्ण। Seeking blessings from all the devotees, especially the senior devotees assembled here. So we can speak something on Srimad Bhagavatam, especially on this 10th canto. We have around 22 minutes remaining. So, both the Acharya's commentary, Srila Sanatana Goswami and Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, both commentaries are mentioned here about how Krishna and Balaram, this is just before Balaram will kill Pralambasura. Immediately after this, it is tomorrow, the discussion will start about Pralamba. How he enters, disguises himself and enters the cowherd boys group. Before that, there's a lot of description in this chapter about how they play with different fruits like bilwa fruits, kumbha fruits, amlaka fruits. Very interesting. That they'll throw one fruit and try to hit with another fruit. And then they'll put up the steps with the stones and try to break that. So all these games we have played in our childhood. We don't play with fruits because fruits are kind of, many of the fruits are kind of extinct species or about to extinct, and fruits are very costly. So we play with that ball, tennis ball. Whatever we do, Krishna has done that. They say in English, been there, done that. Otherwise, these thoughts will not even come in our mind. All these new inventions which are happening in the area of sports, they're not actually new. It's not the first time someone is playing. It's not that cricket, football, volleyball, basketball, whatever is been invented in this last century. They're very old games. So, but we'll not discuss about that. We'll discuss about how this process of Krishna consciousness is kevala ananda kanda. It's completely filled with bliss and joy. This process of Krishna consciousness is full of bliss and joy. Then how can we attain that? And why are we not able to attain that bliss and joy? What is the meaning of bliss? What is the meaning of, as it is mentioned here, that how they would play imitating animals and birds. Right now these crows are having some feast somewhere. So they are enjoying. उनका भागवतम क्लास चल रहा है. So they should be given timing after 8:30 so that they should not disturb our class. So Krishna consciousness is all about happiness and bliss. If there is no bliss, that means there is something lacking. It's not Krishna consciousness. If we are not happy in bhakti, that means we are not practicing bhakti. It's as simple as that. If we are taking medicine and there is no cure, that means there is some problem with the medicine, or there is a problem with the doctor, he has given wrong medicine, or there is a problem with us while taking that medication. Now doctor is Krishna, medicine is Krishna consciousness, it cannot have any flaw in that. So that means there is some flaw while how we are taking this medicine. Last time we discussed that one thing which prevents to relish this Krishna consciousness, to have this joyous feeling, is offense. So that is one major obstacle as described by acharyas, which prevents us to enjoy. It's not about anarthas. We may have a lot of anarthas in our heart, but still we can feel that joy of Krishna consciousness. Everyone can remember those days when we came first time to ISKCON, or first time we came in touch with Krishna conscious devotees, or books, or lectures, or kirtans. How joyous we were, how happy we were, and that is why we came. Otherwise, why someone will wake up here? There is nothing, weather is very blissful here, but in north it's 4 degrees, 3 degrees, it's freezing. Why would someone in such a freezing weather do so much of austerity, waking up early in the morning? He got something, that is why he came. We all came, we were told to chant once Hare Krishna, and then we were told to chant one round of Hare Krishna, and then we went to 4, and then 8, and then 16, and then following principles, reading books, hearing lectures, serving. Those kind of services which we have never done in our lives. Taking initiation, committing to the process, committing to the institution, joining the institution, leaving the job outside there, trying to be completely dependent on the temple for everything. There was some joy which was pulling us. Where is that joy gone? Why the joy is not there? Sometimes devotees have this understanding that joy and frivolousness is one and same. These two are different. When we talk about becoming blissful in Krishna consciousness, that does not mean becoming frivolous. Two small kids are playing, people enjoy. There's small kids, 2 years, 3 years, people enjoy, 5 years they enjoy. But even after becoming 20, 25, if we still have those kinds of sports or frivolity, then that's not something to be enjoyed. So there's a difference between bliss of Krishna consciousness and frivolity of this material world. One is spiritual, one is material. So someone may be in illusion thinking that I am joyous in Krishna consciousness, he may be actually frivolous. Because of our flaw in taking the medication which is given by Srila Prabhupada, we are not able to attain that happiness. When we are not able to attain the happiness, we try some means. In US, there was one book distributor and he was distributing books. There was an old man. This book distributor met an old man, very old, like 80. And he saw this blissful face of this book distributor. So he thought that, if he is such a young man and he's happy, wearing this saffron robes, he's happy. So he asked him, why you are happy? How you are happy? He said, by serving Krishna. Can I become happy? He said, okay, come to temple. He took him to temple. And this devotee asked this old man, okay, what would you like to do? He said, I'm good at gardening. Okay, we have garden, do some gardening. So he did for half an hour. He felt immense happiness. He did for 1 more hour. The happiness is increasing. He did sad service for more than 6 hours, free of cost. Because he was feeling happy. Everyone in this world is trying to do whatever they are doing only for happiness. Whether someone is studying, whether someone is getting married, whether someone is having children, whether someone is having business, job, going to different planets, ultimately to attain happiness. So this old man became very happy. And he thought, this is what I was looking for last 80 years in my life. So then he decided he'll come again next day. Next day again he came. He told the devotee, I can continue gardening. He said, okay. But that happiness was not there. Now that happiness is not there, so he is trying different mechanical ways to do the gardening so that he can attain that happiness. This is where the flaw is. Bliss is there in chanting the holy name, not in mechanically trying different ways to chant holy name. Somehow, if we just chant and hear, the bliss will automatically come. We don't have to search for it. We don't have to put any extra endeavor for it. But unfortunately, we're not feeling bliss in chanting because you're not hearing the mantra. What was happening 5 years ago is not happening now. Similarly, this old man, he tried whole day. 8 hours he gave, he didn't get the bliss. I don't know what is the reason. But in our case, we know what is the reason. So when we are not able to attain that bliss mechanically or externally, on a very materialistic platform, we try to attain happiness, and that becomes frivolity. That's frivolous. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, devotees must be gambhir, not frivolous. Sometimes devotees want that, there should be always jokes and happiness and, all material things. Bhakti is a serious thing. You cannot play around with it. To go from, this is one devotee who was supposed to come from Delhi to Bombay today. He was supposed to board the train. Just now he called me, Prabhuji, train cancel ho gaya. All trains are getting cancelled in North India. Just to travel from one city to another city in material world in the same country, it's so difficult. You don't have to have a passport, you don't have to apply for visa. Just coming from Delhi to Bombay, how much it takes? 600 rupees, 700 rupees. The train is cancelled. It is so difficult to travel from one city to another. It's a serious thing. How difficult it would be from one country to another country. And how difficult it would be from one planet to another planet. And then how difficult it will be from one planetary system to another planetary system. And almost impossible to cross over 7 layers of this universe. And then to Viraja. And we think that we will go to Golok after I leave this body while doing all this frivolity in my life. So what is this happiness without frivolity where we are serious about bhakti? That's what is expected from a devotee. Let us take example of Srila Prabhupada. Extremely serious about practicing his own Krishna consciousness, about preaching. He would not tolerate nonsense. But then devotees, they share so much joy they could see in Prabhupada's eyes, in his smile. And he could give that joy to others. So happiness and joy and bliss of Krishna consciousness does not mean that we become frivolous. It means we are serious about bhakti and we are relishing Krishna consciousness by reading literatures, by hearing Srimad Bhagavatam or Bhagavad Gita classes, by hearing the holy name and trying to avoid the offenses, which is the major obstacle. a major obstacle in our growth in Krishna consciousness. After few years in Krishna consciousness, our mind is always thinking on the faults of other devotees. Such unfortunate situation. And because we have so many devotees, so our mind gets a lot of food. And everyone would have faults. Who is faultless in this material world? Why are you in material world if you don't have any fault? So we have to understand, if other devotee has faults, it's okay. There is no problem in having faults. Oh no, this Prabhu is like this Prabhu is like this. Okay, what is the problem? In spite of all the faults, he's trying to serve. He's trying to practice. There's one devotee, young devotee, late 20s. Very sincere, initiated, trying to chant, trying to practice Krishna consciousness, trying to serve whatever possible. But internally, that lust is pulling him down like anything. Lust is pulling him down like anything. So who's free from lust? Who's free from envy? It will be visible very clearly. Someone who's free from envy is a pure devotee, Uttama Adhikari, as described by Srila Rupa Goswami in Nectar of Instruction. It will very clearly visible. So that means all of us are inflicted. So it's okay if someone is having lust, someone is having anger, someone is having envy. It's okay, at least he's chanting. You go to, suppose now this third wave, Omicron. So we saw in second wave, first wave. So there are COVID wards in hospital. It's a COVID zone, COVID wards. Now someone has got COVID and he is admitted in the COVID ward. And this fellow is taking his medication and he is saying, look at this, he got COVID, he got COVID. You are also here because of COVID. So we are in material world because we have this lust, anger, greed, envy and other things. How can we point out others? There are more than 6,000 thoughts in our mind every day. 6,000 thoughts. Gopi Pranadhan Prabhu used to say, if you get 500 thoughts of lust in one day, you can still be a very good brahmachari. Don't count it, otherwise it will increase. Yeah? He said it goes beyond 2,000 thoughts per day, then it's something serious. But still in that serious situation, someone is trying to chant Hare Krishna mantra. Should we support him or should we ridicule him? Our mind is ridiculing every other devotee all over the world. That is the major problem we are having. And we are not able to enjoy that bliss. We are not able to relish that happiness in Krishna consciousness. And that's why Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Thakur, tomorrow we are celebrating his disappearance day. He always, tomorrow or no, 23rd. So he always said that if you want to find, if you are expert at finding fault, find fault within yourself. So just, analyze your mind, the thoughts. Most of the thoughts, or I can very safely say there are two kinds of thoughts a materially conscious person will have. Good about oneself and bad about others. Dronacharya gave assignment to Duryodhan and Yudhishthir. Dronacharya told Yudhishthir, you go in the entire town, come back in the evening and tell me who is, lower than you in consciousness. And he told Duryodhan, go and find out and come back in the evening who is higher than you. Both gave same answer. Yudhishthir said, nobody is lower than me, I am the lowest. And Duryodhan said, nobody is higher than me, I am the highest. So materially conscious person, how do we know we are materially conscious or not? Just analyze your thoughts. Either the thoughts is, praising oneself, which is again material consciousness, false ego, illusion, or otherwise ridiculing and fault finding with other devotees. This is material consciousness. And spiritual consciousness, chanting, reading, serving, thinking about how to expand the mission. Many a times devotees say, I forgot this service. Small services they forget. Why you forget service? Because you are materially conscious. So this offensive attitude is actually killing our opportunity or destroying our opportunity to relish Krishna consciousness. And because of that, we joke with devotees, we become frivolous with devotees. And other devotees, sometimes I've heard devotees, they expect that, we should be also frivolous with them. Okay, sometimes few minutes in a day is okay. But if your expectation is, your seniors, your equals, your juniors, all the time should be in a joking mood, which they call, with different names as friendly or friendly banter is there, but I'm saying these words, they don't say frivolous because they don't even understand what is frivolity. There should be open talk. What is open talk about? Open talk should be center, should be Bhagavatam. So mechanically we try to attain happiness and we become frivolous. And eventually when you become frivolous, this offensive attitude will further increase. Because anyone who is not frivolous, you will ridicule him. So, Krishna consciousness, Kevala Ananda Kanda, is all about bliss and joy. But we are not able to relish that bliss and joy even after practicing Krishna consciousness. Whole day, because that may be very artificial or superficial practice of Krishna consciousness. One should check oneself all the time while giving class, while hearing class, while chanting, while attending arti, while doing any other service, whether is he feeling that joy in performing service? Is he having that kind of feeling that I am best at performing this service? Or is he thinking something about completely different only? So we have to analyze our thoughts. Then we will realize that whether we are growing in Krishna consciousness or not growing. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur says every Ekadashi we should analyze. Last Ekadashi and this Ekadashi, whether I have grown in Krishna consciousness or not. So there's one thing, coming to Krishna consciousness is one thing. Many people come. Staying in Krishna consciousness is another thing. Very few stay back. Not everyone's cup of tea. And third is to grow in Krishna consciousness. Very rare. It should not happen that the first 5 years I have grown in my Krishna consciousness, now next 30 years I am just stagnant because I am frivolous or because I am offensive. And then next life, another. Again, first 5 years we grow. Then it will take a lot of time. So we should try to avoid and hear attentively especially the holy name and Srimad Bhagavatam, and then we can relish the joy and happiness in Krishna consciousness. So, whatever I spoke is for my own benefit and it's applicable to me. Sometimes the tendency is there to use the word we, but I am just talking about myself. And I would request all the senior devotees sitting here, they can add something or give some correction or help me how I can come out of this frivolity in my life so I can also grow in Krishna consciousness. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Sorry to contradict you. The easiest thing in this world is to go back to Godhead. Srila Prabhupada said, it is very, very difficult to go to hell. You have to earn money, commit sinful activities, go to prostitutes, drink alcohol. And it's very easy to go back to Godhead. But actually, it is said, Tvatpada potena mahatkrutena kuruvanti go vasavadim bhavabdim. So, when we come to Krishna consciousness, the whole material world becomes like a water in the calf's hoof print, and then it's very easy to cross. And Srila Prabhupada said, just accept Krishna as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. This one sentence, in 4th chapter, 9th shloka, purport, you will go back to Godhead. So, it's very easy to go back to Godhead.
Yeah. Only if we don't offend devotees.
See, Srila Prabhupada said, if you are very determined, you can go back to Godhead in one lifetime. Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, there is one letter I can quote. He said, after taking initiation from a bona fide spiritual master, one lifetime Namaparad chanting, offensive chanting. Second lifetime Nama Basa chanting. Third lifetime Prema, pure Shuddhanam. Then after that you will go back to Godhead. See, just imagine, we are here in trillions and trillions of years, and in 3 lifetimes. It's just a matter of time. So these offenses and all will be there. So that's why Prabhupada said, offensive, non-offensive. You keep on chanting. Mechanical, non-mechanical. You keep on chanting. One day, holy name will win. So we don't have to be discouraged. And it's not at all difficult. All these things, just stay in boat of ISKCON.
I am just saying, what you said is perfectly all right, Prabhuji. I am just saying, is if you just meet some, do some youth preaching, what crazy things are going on. So, the train is burning, the coach is burning, people don't want to get out, what can you do?
Both of you are right, don't fight. Prabhupada said both. It depends on individual, how we take it. Krishna consciousness is easy. You can go back home, back to Godhead in 1 minute, no problem. And it also takes long time. Bahu janma kare jadi sravana kirtan, tabana paye Krishna pade premadhan. It depends on individual. There's nothing to do with Krishna consciousness. The medicine is same, but how you are taking. So both is right. Prabhupada said Krishna consciousness is easy for simple hearted, but very difficult for crooked. So there are 2 persons. One is simple heart, can go right away. But crooked heart takes time. Anyway, thank you for a wonderful class. I was trying to understand what is called frivolous, and is a devotional service, one should be very serious. Let us discuss. What do you mean by being serious? Like a statue? I will not talk to anybody. Is that the meaning by becoming serious?
No.
And what do you mean by being frivolous?
So frivolous means not taking bhakti seriously, and not, if I have to say in a simple words, not attending programs, not taking seriously, not bothered about services, not taking any responsibility, just becoming, having tendency to become dependent on temple only just for sustaining themselves. That is frivolity. And seriousness does not mean, rather, only Krishna conscious person can become happy and can laugh. Other materialistic people, what they can laugh?
Yeah,
They are
because he said Kevana Ananda Kanda.
yeah.
So very serious, how can be Ananda Kanda?
So seriousness means Gambhir. As one of the 26 qualities of Vaishnava, it is said Gambhir. So he is Gambhir about Krishna consciousness. So there are different ways, like different ways of dancing. So there can be frivolity in dancing. There can be, happiness in dancing. Two different things. Am I dancing for the pleasure of Guru and Krishna? Or am I doing some steps for my own enjoyment? So one is frivolous and one is enjoying the happiness. Yes, Guru.
So regarding this, when we can achieve perfection, you want to discuss that? Frivolous means when intention is not pure, and intention is for our own sense enjoyment, that nature of frivolous thing comes. And when the purpose is to please Krishna, then that is seriousness in Krishna consciousness. The intention is more important, not external appearance. You can be very, very serious in your external appearance, but you can be frivolous also, because your intention is not to please Krishna. So Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu is very, very clear. When intention is to please Krishna, that is the qualification to render pure devotional service. And if that intention is missing, then it is not pure devotional service. That's my understanding from Rupa Goswami in Nectar of Devotion.
You wanted to comment on other thing also.
Yes, speed. When we can achieve perfection. A small story. Some is that 3 life, 1 life, many lives, millions of lives. Many statements are there. All are correct. So one man, he used to stay in a village, and he did not go out of the village in his life. But once he wanted to go for some work, and he wanted to catch the train, and he did not know where is the train station also. It is out of the village, but he did not know. So he was walking, and he saw a farmer, and asked the farmer that how long I will take to go to the station. He was asking, repeatedly he was asking, but he was not responding. So he was surprised, and he started running. When that man started running, then the farmer said, it will take 10 minutes. Then he was very surprised that I was asking you again and again loudly and clear, but you did not answer. But now when I started running, you answered. He said, when you are asking, I did not know what speed you will go. That's why I could not answer. Now I can understand, seeing the speed, that it will take 10 minutes. So when we will achieve perfection depends on our speed. So speed is sincerity. Rupa Goswami says, Prabhupada also mentioned, mechanical devotional service cannot take you anywhere. And what is the meaning of sincere? When you are rendering devotional service to achieve the goal. The goal of spiritual life is to attain love of God. If that hankering is not there, if that craving is not there, only chanting for the sake of chanting will not take you anywhere. That is very, very clear by Rupa Goswami in Nectar of Devotion, and Prabhupada also says that in his Nectar of Devotion book. Hare Krishna.
Yes, serious and frivolous.
No.
Hare Krishna. Oh, frivolous means, sometimes, of course, nowadays we don't see so much. Previously, we used to catch hold of, devotees' feet and then give me your dust of your, lotus feet, and then catch hold of the, play, play, and then, take away prasad, that is actually frivolous.
Now that's not happening because
Yeah.
everyone is busy with their mobiles.
हरे कृष्ण प्रभु जी। जब रासो यज्ञ हो रहा था उस समय भगवान श्री कृष्ण के पास दुर्योधन आया और उन्होंने पूछा, प्रभु आप तो परम भगवान हैं, तथापि आपके पास समता नहीं है, आप पक्षपात करते हो। तो प्रभु उनको बताए, दुर्योधन को, कि हजारों लाखों लोगों में से एक सज्जन महात्मा को लेकर आओ मेरे पास बुलाकर, जो महात्मा होगा। तब दुर्योधन गया, सबको देखा और लाकर रिपोर्ट दिया, प्रभु इसमें एक भी महात्मा नहीं है, सारे दुष्ट आत्मा भरे हुए हैं। बाद में भगवान ने धर्मराज को भेजा, बोला इसमें कोई दुष्ट व्यक्ति हो तो बुला के लाओ मेरे पास। तो जाके देखा हजारों लाखों लोगों में से, बोले प्रभु इसमें एक भी दुष्ट व्यक्ति नहीं, सारे महात्मा हैं। तो जो चोर होते हैं उनको सारे चोर नजर आते हैं, और जो प्रामाणिक होते हैं उनको सब प्रामाणिक नजर आते हैं। हरे कृष्ण।
हरे कृष्ण।
ये हनुमान जी अपना ही बोलते रहते हैं। अरे जो प्रश्न है उस पर बोलो ना। हाँ तो बताओ ना। Anyway, I will just give one example. Suppose you are driving and car stops. You found out the tank is empty. You fill it up with water and start driving. Will car go?
No.
Require petrol. Same way, we want to enjoy in this world. But we are filling with water. Means sense gratification. That is called frivolous. Anything which helps us to enjoy our senses is frivolous. But anything which connects us to Krishna or reminds us to keep Krishna in center, that is being serious. Anybody, any devotees, any object, even Mahaprasad, water, anything which reminds, because Krishna is the real petrol. The car can only move when there is petrol, although tank is filled, but with water, no. So with material thing, one cannot be happy. So seriousness means keeping Krishna in center, and frivolous means keeping sense gratification in center. I understand.
Yes. Thank you, Prabhuji.
हरे कृष्ण प्रभु जी, बहुत सुंदर क्लास आज दी। ये जो हम देखते हैं हमारे भक्तों के अंदर, कोई वैष्णव हमारे भक्तों के अंदर बहुत सारे डिवोटी हैं, कुछ रेगुलर मंगल आरती आते हैं 20 साल 25 साल से, क्लास भी अटेंड करते हैं, चैंटिंग करते हैं, लेकिन जब उनका एसोसिएशन में हम आते हैं तो उनका व्यवहार बातचीत थोड़ा अलग लगता है। तो प्रभुपाद जी संस्था का नाम दिए कृष्ण भावनामृत संघ। हमारा जो कॉन्शियसनेस है, हमारा स्वभाव है, उसको हम चेंज करना पहला काम है। तो हम जो रेगुलर प्रोग्राम अटेंड कर रहे हैं, ये कर रहे हैं, मैंने हमारा स्वभाव को परिवर्तन, कॉन्शियसनेस को मैंने चेतना शुद्ध करने के लिए, अगर सब कुछ करते हुए भी अगर हमारा स्वभाव चेंज नहीं हो रहा है तो प्रभुपाद तो खुश नहीं होगा ना। तो इसके ऊपर थोड़ा कुछ बताइए आप।
तो आपका प्रश्न है कि कोई भक्त आ रहा है 20-25 साल से मंगल आरती क्लास सब कुछ कर रहे हैं लेकिन उनके व्यवहार जो है वो कृष्ण भावना भावित नहीं है। तो देखिए वो उनका है और प्रभुपाद का और कृष्ण का टेंशन है। एक हिसाब से देखा जाए तो हमको मतलब नहीं है। जब हमारा मन निंदा करने की बात करता है तो हमको सोचना चाहिए हमारा क्या मतलब है। तो पहले मन थोड़ा शांत हो जाएगा, फिर आप सोच सकते हो कि ये भक्त कर रहा है तो क्यों ऐसा हो रहा है। तो अगर आप रेस में दौड़ रहे हो, आप किसी ऑब्जेक्ट पे, फाइनल डेस्टिनेशन आपको जाना है 10 किलोमीटर, दूसरा व्यक्ति भी है उसको भी 10 किलोमीटर जाना है, लेकिन एक भक्त ऑलरेडी, एक व्यक्ति जो है वो 5 किलोमीटर क्रॉस कर चुका है, तो उसके लिए 5 किलोमीटर में वो पहुंच जाएगा क्योंकि वो आगे था। दूसरा व्यक्ति 5 किलोमीटर चलेगा तो भी अभी आधा बाकी है, तो हमको नहीं पता कि उस भक्त की परिस्थिति क्या है। वो कर रहा है सिंसियरली भी, अगर सिंसियरली कर रहा है तो ग्रोथ हो रहा है, लेकिन क्योंकि बहुत पिछला बकाया होगा तो उसको हिसाब टाइम लगता है। लेकिन हरिनाम तो पावरफुल है, तुरंत शुद्ध होना चाहिए। तो 10 किलोमीटर आपको जाना है, आप 5 किलोमीटर तक पहुंच गए हो, आप आधा किलोमीटर जाते हो, फिर 2 किलोमीटर पीछे आ जाते हो, फिर 1 किलोमीटर जाते हो, फिर 3 किलोमीटर पीछे आ जाते हो। तो मॉर्निंग प्रोग्राम करने हम भक्ति में आगे बढ़ रहे हैं, लेकिन फिर दिन भर में कुछ और करके हम पीछे आ जाते हैं। और जैसे प्रभु जी ने बताया, चैंटिंग सिर्फ नाम के लिए कर रहा है, मंगल आरती सिर्फ नाम के लिए आ रहा है। लेकिन हमारे लिए क्या होना चाहिए? पहला चीज, अगर हमारे मन में ऐसा उस भक्त के प्रति निंदा उठ रहा है तो बोलना चाहिए अपने मन को कि हमको क्या करना है, ये कृष्ण जाने, प्रभुपाद जाने और वो भक्त जाने। दूसरा स्टेज ये एनालाइज करना चाहिए कि क्यों हो रहा है, क्या वो गलती मैं तो नहीं कर रहा हूँ। और तीसरा स्टेज, उस भक्त के अगर आप हितैषी हो तो उसको कैसे भक्ति में आगे बढ़ाया जाए ये सोचना चाहिए। ये 3 स्टेजेस से आप डील कर सकते हो, तो इसमें आप अपराध से बच जाओगे।
जो कनिष्ठ अधिकारी है वो मध्यम अधिकारी का एसोसिएशन करना चाहिए, जो मध्यम अधिकारी है उत्तम अधिकारी का एसोसिएशन करना चाहिए। तो हम व्यवहार से तो पता चल जाएगा कौन कैसा है। तो कभी कभी ऐसा होता है कि उत्तम अधिकारी जो मतलब भक्त हैं जो भी है, मतलब एसोसिएशन में कभी कभी ऐसा व्यवहार होता है कि मतलब
फिर वो उत्तम अधिकारी कैसे हुआ? आप कॉन्ट्राडिक्ट कर रहे हो, आप बोल रहे हो कोई व्यक्ति उत्तम अधिकारी है लेकिन उसका व्यवहार ठीक नहीं, फिर उत्तम अधिकारी नहीं है ना, है ना? ऐसा नहीं है कि कोई 100 साल से भक्ति कर रहा है तो भी हो सकता है कनिष्ठ में हो। इंटेंशन, प्रभु जी ने बताया ना इंटेंशन क्या है। देव की बुक
एक पॉइंट आपने कहा कि हेल्प करना चाहिए दूसरे भक्तों को, लेकिन यदि वो भक्त राइट स्पिरिट में नहीं ले रहा है उस हेल्प को, तब क्या करना चाहिए?
छोड़ देना चाहिए। प्रभुपाद जी एक लेक्चर में बोलते हैं, अभी 2 दिन पहले ही सुना मैंने, प्रभुपाद जी नए स्टूडेंट्स को लेक्चर दे रहे हैं और प्रभुपाद बोलते हैं वी एट कृष्ण कॉन्शियसनेस मूवमेंट आर ओनली मैसेंजर्स, वी कैन ओनली टेल यू व्हाट इज राइट व्हाट इज नॉट राइट, रेस्ट इज योर रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी। तो हम सिर्फ अपना जिम्मेदारी करके विरक्त हो सकते हैं।
लेकिन क्या जिम्मेदारी वहीं खत्म हो जाती है? एक बाप देख रहा है कि मेरा बेटा गलत रास्ते पर जा रहा है, पहले वो समझाने का प्रयास करेगा, यदि वो नहीं मानता है तो क्या बाप छोड़ देगा उसको?
तो शुद्ध भक्त दूसरे से ईर्ष्या नहीं करते और वो ये भी ऐसा व्यवहार नहीं करते कि दूसरा व्यक्ति उनसे ईर्ष्या करे। तो अगर हम किसी को जबरदस्ती करते हैं, एक समय तक कर सकते हैं, वो आपके प्रति अगर अपराध करने लगेगा तो उल्टा वो और नीचे चला जाएगा। तो इसलिए उस समय थोड़ा सा मेरे हिसाब से छोड़ देना चाहिए।
लक्ष्य है उसका कल्याण करना। आप वही बात बोल रहे हो उसे कल्याण के लिए, लेकिन वो उल्टा समझ रहा है। हो सकता है जैसा आप कह रहे हो अपराध भी कर सकता है। और यदि हम छोड़ देते हैं तो हमारा रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी पूरा नहीं हो पा रहा है।
प्रार्थना कर सकते,
और क्या कर सकते हैं?
ऐसे तो बहुत सारा है। शंकर संहिता प्रभु।
हरे कृष्णा। पहले जानना चाहिए is my responsibility to correct that person or not. That is the main thing. We always think that this is my responsibility. तो करेक्ट करने के लिए वो रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी होना चाहिए, अदरवाइज वी शुड नॉट करेक्ट एनीबडी। इज द responsibility of the guru, responsibility of father, responsibility of other senior authorities. Those are responsible, they should correct. And if that person is not having faith, then what will happen? If you say and he does not follow for the guru, then he will commit third offense. So by telling somebody who is not willing to follow, you are implicating him more and more. I want to give an example. Somebody wanted to do something and he told his authority, please tell him not to do that. He said, no, I cannot tell because I know when I tell, he will not do that. So I don't want to implicate him more. So I agree with your idea also that we can tell, but if he is not Shraddhalu, he is not having faith, then we should not try more and more, but by doing that, we will implicating him more and more. And we can hand over that responsibility to somebody who can take care of him, because I am not having that capacity. So that's why we can shift that responsibility to others to whom he has some faith, and in that way you can take care. That option is also there. Hare Krishna. That's why you should have multiple guru system. It's not that every person will be following someone. We can have some other person to take care of him. Hare Krishna. It's not forcing.
Almost there. But as a father, as a well-wisher, a devotee is supposed to be a well-wisher for one and all, Dhira and Adhira.
English.
Nityanand Prabhu did not just live Jagai Madhai then and there. He went one step ahead. And that was, when Lord Chaitanya was going to punish, he said, no, my Lord, please don't do that thing. And that way, they took from Nityananda. On first stand, first place, first time they did not. So, yes, just leaving somebody is not the solution. I may be wrong, I'm not saying I'm right. But as a father, he will go all out to see that my son gets cured. If this hospital does not work, this machinery does not work, let me go to America, let me go here, let me go there. Till that son dies, he wants to see that he gets cured. So we have a system here. Well, if he's not, following me, just like in our management here, many places, sometime I just ask Shankar Sanitai Prabhu, can you look into this thing? Because I know if I say, he will not follow. But if work can be done by him, why should I feel, अरे मैं बोला नहीं सुना, उनके कहने सुन लिया. So if we keep the ego one side, and goal is only to cure that person, so we should go all out to find out way and means to correct. I'll give one example. One of our committee member, his son wanted latest iPhone. And father said, no. If we do that thing, then he will get spoiled. So he told the wife, no, nothing doing. And son wanted. So he went on drug. He was taking drug. And father was trying different way. So he asked me, what should I do? I said, he is a small kid. You must know Bal Hut and Stri Hut. It's very difficult. Gave him phone. He'll come out of the drug. So first he wanted mobile. He did not do. He didn't give. So he went on drug, which became worse than mobile. And then later on he gave mobile. He came out from the drug. And by that time he had lost his, screw. ढीला हो गया बहुत कुछ ड्रग लेकर के. But if you had done in first place, so sometime in curing or correcting devotee, sometime maybe we need to give something that they want or be with them. Other time we can ask help from other senior or even junior or a classmate. The goal is to see that devotee comes on right track. That should be the goal, and we should work on the goal. We should work till we achieve the goal. Leaving that, okay, leave if you don't listen to me. One way it is okay, but I think we are not doing our responsibility as a leader.
But Prabhuji, like, just wanted to ask, sometime we have seen even Prabhupada, some people are not listening. Some people, they will not listen to entire institution. We have seen senior leaders telling someone, go. Like here, Bhagavad Gita 3.26, na buddhi bedam janayed. This shloka, Krishna is saying not to disrupt the minds of ignorant men attached to the fruitive result of prescribed duty. Even though Prabhupada says we should be compassionate, and you gave example Nityanand Rup, I'll give an example what I've heard in this context. Agar brahmachari ashram ke piche, there's a lot of bushes, bushy plants, like rose plant, बहुत सारा गुलाब का खेती है. The flower has not come, but there are thorns. और एक धोती गिर गया. It was little wet, गीला था धोती, गिर गया. बहुत जगह कांटों में वो फंस गया है. If you go in hurry and pull the dhoti, there will be few pieces of rumals, handkerchiefs. Dhoti nahi aayega. So if someone is implicated because of his own karma, because of anartha, because of aparadh, so then very slowly we have to see. Otherwise sometimes it has to be just left it. वो dry हो जाएगा ना धोती, then it's easier to.
Okay, so but goal is to get dhoti
Yeah,
out
goal
there.
is there.
The same way, the goal is to bring that person on the right path. I mean, Prabhupada among his disciples, if somebody did wrong, how did he dealt? Like one devotee who did some mistake or something, and devotee were talking. So Prabhupada said, and devotee came, oh, he left and all this thing. Prabhupada said, yes, you talked about him, now you made impossible for him to come back. There was Prabhupada's compassion. He wanted him to be. And Prabhupada had excused many devotees. I think Prabhupada never got angry with any devotee, only Nitai. He went to Prabhupada and asked if he can give blessing to become Babaji. Prabhupada said, yes, I am giving a blessing to go to hell. Otherwise, Prabhupada never really did this kind of thing. He was very compassionate.
Another devotee got. One devotee got Babaji Diksha.
Nitai, he told. Okay.
Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki